Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Jessica with the Sculptry Club here, and today we're going to be making this apple pie a la mode, okay? I am starting this tutorial off with my ice cream topper tutorial, okay? This has been highly requested from everyone around. And it is very, very simple to do. So please follow along. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section or feel free to join my Facebook group where I can be a little bit more hands-on. Okay, so here you see I am using all-purpose flour. And I'm using this spackle. I would just like to say the price of spackle has insanely gone, through the roof. This little tiny thing of spackle was like 20 something dollars, which I think is insane. So make sure that when you guys are pricing your products that you're thinking of the costs of your materials, okay? And I will also like to say one of the reasons it took me so long to do this tutorial on a public platform is because I felt like I don't have exact measurements. So when I describe this to you guys, it's literally going to be more of a feeling. Like I don't have cups and, ounces to give you, okay? So you are going to mix your spackle and you're going to add your flour, all right? And what you're looking for is for the consistency not to be sticky, okay? So you have your, your gloves on, and you are going to continually like knead this as if you're kneading dough, those of you that are bakers. And you are going to kind of pull it apart. And if it's kind of still sticking to your gloves and stuff like that, you're going to add a little bit more flour. Okay. And the reason being is because when we put this into our ice cream scoop, we do not need it to stick to our ice cream scoop. All right. So you see me here pulling it apart and I'm kind of like pressing that flour in to this mixture. All right. I don't want it super dry, but I definitely don't want it super wet. Okay. It's really a science to this. I'm going to put this closer to the camera so you can kind of see. And you want to just keep adding flour until you get the right consistency. I kind of wish I was doing this in person so you guys could actually like feel it and see it. It may be difficult for you to do this on camera, but the point that I'm trying to make is it can't be sticky. If it's sticky, it's going to stick to your scoop. Okay. The reason why I like doing this form of ice cream scoops is because it really is the most realistic that I have found. Okay. And it's the cheapest as well in comparison to the other methods. And you would be surprised the amount of ice cream scoops that you can make with one batch of this these materials. Okay, so you see I'm just constantly kneading. That is the main point of this, is to knead. And then when you feel like you have it, it's not too sticky and it's not too dry, you are going to get ready to add it to your scoop. Okay, so I wanted you to see this. I kind of slowed it down a little bit here. As you can see, I noticed that a lot of people, and you may be able to do this with the other methods as well. So this is just a quick tip for you if you're interested. A lot of people, when they're doing their scoops, they like push it into their ice cream scooper to kind of get it all nice and smooth. You don't want to do that if you're looking for that texture. As you saw in the beginning, I use the rough side or the raw side and place that into my scoop. Okay. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to like pull my mixture apart and the rough side I'm going to place inside the scoop. Okay. And, also, I am using a large scoop. I just want to say that I'm using one of the larger scoops, which can be found on Amazon. I'll have it linked in the description of this video. It will be an affiliate link. And you are going to see here that I'm like taking my fingers and I'm pressing inside of the scoop to kind of push the mixture out on the edges. Okay. And as you see, I'm pressing down and then I squeeze it and I have a nice good size scoop. And I say that because if you want one scoop to fit your lid, this is what you're going to need to do. All right. So you're going to continue to do this process, guys. You're going to continue to do your, mixture into your scooper. All right. And you're going to press around. You can take your fingers and press on the inside of the scoop to kind of squeeze it out. Right. And then put it down on your, area and press it to squeeze out the scoop. All right. And you're going to come out with some amazing, beautiful scoops. You want to let this dry, for a good amount of time. I'd say a minimum of 6 hours. The point is to make sure the tops, wherever the air is being exposed, because remember, we placed this down on foil. You could also use plastic or a silicone mat. Wherever the air has touched, you want to make sure that is completely hard. Okay. And so, sometimes I'll just do this late at night and then let it dry while I'm sleeping. Other times I will literally put a fan there because I need them to dry pretty quickly. But you want the tops to dry. And then once the tops dry, you're going to go ahead and take a spoon, plastic spoon, metal spoon, doesn't matter. And you are going to scoop out the inside. Please note that this is not a project that you can just leave for days and come back to. Number one, the spackle and the flour will mold. So this is a project you need to do like within a 24-hour period. Okay, so go ahead and let your scoops dry overnight. All right, the tops will be nice and hard and the inside, wherever the air did not touch, will still be soft. Okay, but you see that beautiful texture there? I absolutely love it. I absolutely love this. You guys are going to have so much fun making these, ice cream scoops for your tumblers. Okay, so now you see here, I am carefully taking my spoon and I am removing the inside of the scoop. All right. So the air does get a little bit underneath. You can see that the outer crust of the ice cream scoop is hard, but the inside is still soft. Okay. So I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to scoop out all of that inside. All right. There's another scoop for us to make. And that's why I love doing this because, A, spackle is expensive, and B, you can honestly, make a lot of these scoops with one batch. Okay. So I'm going to kind of speed this up. It's kind of the same thing, same process that I did for, the front one. Again, if you have any questions, I really advise you to leave me a comment. I will try to get back to you here on YouTube, but I am mostly 99.999% of my time is spent in my Facebook group, the Sculpistry Club. So come on and join, and I will be able to help you if you would like some additional help. Okay, so once you have removed the inside of your scoops, okay, can kind of smooth it out. Make sure you like the texture. Make sure that it's not too rough. Kind of press with your glove inside of the ice cream scoop. I will say be careful. The outer wall of the top, where it's hard, is not. It's not rock hard. We have non-epoxy this. So you do need to be careful that you don't break it. I broke a couple, but I was able to kind of fill it in with some spackle before it dried. Okay. And the point of this, like I said again, is this needs to be completely dried out, guys. You cannot have any moisture. So do not try to add epoxy if this is not completely dry. It will mold and it is not good. Okay, so we want to be safe and we want our customers to be safe. So I have to reiterate that this needs to completely dry out. So the top we allow to dry overnight, and now the bottoms we're scooping out, and we are going to flip these over once we scoop them out, and we're going to let the insides dry out, okay, for the rest of the day, I guess. And then you come back home, and then now you're ready to epoxy. Okay, so if you are going to follow this tutorial, please keep that in mind. Whereas some of the other techniques, you don't have to worry about this portion. You're going to pay a little bit more, but you will not have to worry about this because it's either an epoxy kind of, material or something like that. Okay. And you see here again, after I scooped out the insides, I'm able to go ahead and make some more scoops. But thank you guys so much for your support. I really hope you enjoyed this ice cream scoop tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comments. And we are going to head right into this apple pie sleeve. Really and truly, guys, this is a triangle sleeve. Not an apple pie sleeve. You can make an apple pie with this sleeve. You can also make a cherry pie. You can also make a blueberry pie. You can also make a pumpkin pie. You can also make a cake if you wanted to. So that is one of the reasons why it's just a triangle sleeve. And I'm really looking forward to seeing all of y'all's creations. Okay, so let's jump right in. I'm a visual person, so a lot of times I need to see like an inspiration photo. This is going to be my inspiration photo. This sleeve, this triangle sleeve, was included in my tier 3 subscription box. It is now available on the website, so if you are interested in this, even if you're not a subscriber, you can go ahead and purchase this, okay? And it is sized to fit Mother Tumbler's Whiskey Bent. That is the best size I have right now until I order some more cups and I can go ahead and size different ones, okay? But again, I decided to do this as just a triangle sleeve so I could add add-ons. So these are what I'm calling the apple pie add-ons, where you have the little miniature pieces and you can go ahead and kind of layer them up to kind of create that dimension like you saw in the photo. I am literally using hot glue to adhere these. Nothing fancy here. So for this tutorial and how I made it, you are going to need hot glue and your hot glue gun. You're going to need some alcohol inks, or I guess some paints. You could honestly use some paints. I'm going to be using some air dry clay. Okay, and this is how I chose to do it. I'm going to be laying these pieces down and gluing them on, and then I'm going to be taking the little pieces and kind of filling in the gaps. Once I fill in the gaps, I'm going to be taking my air dry clay, you'll see, and then kind of just filling in all of the blank space. Okay, and then once I have the blank space filled in with my air dry clay, I decided to do alcohol ink because it's what I had, and I didn't really want to try to match up apple pie paint at the store. So yeah, feel free to kind of experiment with this and let me know what you guys come up with. I'm very interested in seeing the different versions of this. Okay, if you do not have a sleeve, you're not interested in sleeves, and you still want to make an apple pie, you can follow my chocolate cake tutorial. I'm gonna put that up here right to the top left of the screen. And that tutorial, I went ahead and used a cardboard box and some foil and some hot glue to create the triangle shape. okay? And so you can still have fun. You're just going to have to do a little bit more work in sculpting, but you can still have some fun in creating a nice apple pie. Okay, so this is what it looks like, once all your pieces are on there. To be honest with you, if you want to fill in the gap with some resin and like, alcohol ink just to kind of make it look ooey gooey, you could. You do not have to do this step. I think I'm going to do another one and try it without the air dry clay. But for this, I'm using Premier air dry clay, and I'm just literally taking little bits and pieces and I'm pushing it on the inside of the spaces. I'm smoothing it out with my hands. But again, in retrospect, I feel like it came out great, but I would like to have seen some more dimension. And I feel like the air dry clay kind of covered up a lot of that. Either way, it came out nice, but I think when I do it again, I will go ahead and try it without the air dry clay. Okay, so one of the frequently asked questions that I get is, can I use oven baked clay? Can I put this in the oven? I'm gonna say no. I would hate for you to ruin your piece. These things are not meant to go in the oven. They're made of a type of plastic that will melt. Okay. You'll see later on when I do the other side that I actually took my heat gun and I melted it so that I could cut it to fit, what I needed it to fit on. So you could potentially ruin it. Have I done it? Yes, on a low, low, low setting, and I'm watching it constantly. But I honestly, why not just use air dry clay and just save yourself the time and the stress, okay? All right, so here you see me taking my alcohol ink. I'm using caramel, butterscotch. I do have a latte over there, but I didn't use latte. I feel like butterscotch and caramel are my favorite two colors to kind of mimic, breading or like donuts, and same colors I use on that. And so for this, again, I'm looking at this picture and I'm trying to mimic, trying my best to mimic this color. So I'm going to be mixing some colors here, and I'm just dipping it in here and I'm just brushing it on. It actually, did very well. It also helped the air dry clay dry quicker because it is alcohol. Okay. And then I'm going to take, I think, the contrasting color and I'm going to kind of like try to create some highlights and stuff like that. Just trying to look at the photo and seeing what I can do. All right. This is just fun, have fun with it. Don't stress. I was stressing a little bit because I'm like, is this coming out like I want it to come out? Again, I'm thinking about the dimension I see in the photo compared to the air dry clay that I used on this side. Okay. But, hey, I am not mad at how it came out. So, you guys, again, let me know what you decide to do or what you decided to do. I know some of you are already working on your sleeves. I can't wait to see which pie you decide to make. Okay. And then again, guys, I'll just repeated this on the other side as well as the top. Okay, so again, this is using the Mother Tumblers Whiskey Bent, and this sleeve is sized so that you guys have some space on the bottom or the top, kind of whatever you wanted to do. You could do it in the middle, blah, 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 blah. I have listened to you guys and you seem to like to have a blank bottom for your tumbler instead of just, it fitting straight into the sleeve. So that's why I did it like that. But here you are going to use your hot glue gun again, and you are going to add the I'm going to call this the crust topping or whatever onto your sleeve. I again am selling this separate. It's not already on your your sleeve, because you may not want a crust. You may be doing a completely different type of pie. And I would hate to have to you to purchase a whole nother sleeve just because of that. Okay, so I will say that I really am interested to see what you guys decide to do. My daughter was like, key lime pie. She's like, sweet potato. I was like, I can't give them key lime pie pieces, but I can give them blueberries, cherries, and apple pie pieces. Okay. But either way, make sure you put your tumbler inside your sleeve before you add that topping on, just to make sure everything fits. Again, I'm going to repeat the process, adding the air dry clay to fill in the gaps. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint on my alcohol ink to kind of create some kind of colorization. And once that's done, I'm going to glue on the crust on the back and repeat that process. I mean, you just keep doing what you want to do. Before you guys ask me, how do you attach it to the lid, yada, yada, yada. I taught in my original group how to do all that. But today we are just going to be adding this to a removable topper base. And I am just going to go ahead and show you how I go ahead and epoxy the inside of the ice cream scoop. Okay. Regardless of whatever method you do, you're going to need to epoxy the inside and the outer side and the outer side and the outside of the ice cream scoop. You have to seal in this flour and this, what is that? Spackle. You have to seal it in. Okay. If you did want to go ahead and attach it to just the lid, you would do that using, I would say hot glue, because you'll be able to fill in the gaps, and then you can just paint over the hot glue with a matching color. If you didn't want to do it, you just get one of my removable topper bases, and you'll be able just to hot glue that on there as well. Okay, so here I am using a FDA compliant resin. I'm using actually Counterculture. I love Counterculture's Fast Set. This is the original formula. I also use Flynn Sisters Fast Cure. Okay, but for this one, I used Fast Set by CCDIY for the first layer of this tumbler and topper, and then I'm always gonna seal it in with Flynn's Fast Cure for the final layer. And the reason I do that is because Flynn's has a bluish tint, and so therefore I don't have to worry about it yellowing as quickly as I would if I did not use that. Okay, so that hopefully answers the questions I think y'all might have, but you will see how I go ahead and adhere this on to the removable topper base. Okay, so once your ice cream scoop is fully cured on the outside and the inside, all right, you are going to get your removable topper base, and you're just going to hot glue it down. I didn't really see the need to mess with epoxy on that. I just went around the perimeter of this, and I went ahead and glued it on. Okay, and I am looking at like what is my favorite part of the scoop. And I wanted to make sure I put that in the front. But other than that, I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and go around this, kind of closing up any gaps. You can get as fancy as you want. I used to get real fancy, y'all, like real fancy with these scoops. And I think it just depends on how much energy you want to exert. All right. So you could decide to just epoxy this on. You could hot glue it on. You could paint the hot glue. You could add a drip from underneath. All of that jazz. So it definitely is up to you. I am still fairly new to the removable toppers. Mostly, if not all, of my toppers when I started back in 2020 were fixable toppers. But I really do love the option of taking the topper off. So if you are a fixable topper girly, go ahead and try out the removable toppers. Okay, so I'm gonna be using, again, a base. I sell that on my website if you're interested. We have our lid here. I'm not gonna be taking out the sliding mechanism because this base that I sell has a little notch for that piece, okay, to kind of fit in. All right, what you really want to do is take your topper and then kind of take your removable topper base and kind of measure on your lid. And then you see those black dots on my lid. I just took a Sharpie underneath and I just went ahead and marked it off. Okay, and now I'm just taking some of Bob's 2-part epoxy 15 mid cure, and I'm going and adding just a little dollop onto each dot that I can see. Okay, then I'm going to take my magnets and I'm going to add them on. Once they are on, I am going to let it cure. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for my topper. Just understand that each magnet, and I say this each time because I've had a lot of trial and error with this, has a positive and a negative side. So you want to make sure that your magnets match up. Don't put don't put it to where it's repelling each other. Okay, so just be mindful of that. But once you're done, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna love this. You're gonna have such a beautiful creation. I cannot wait to see it. I thank you guys so much for your support, and my channel is growing. I appreciate each one of you guys that's my subscribers. Please come on over to the Sculptry Club on Facebook. We're having a lot of fun in there, and I cannot wait to see what you create. Okay, thanks guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.